Welcome. In front of me is an INFINIX Hot 30i, and today I'll go over unboxing along with a quick overview of this phone itself. Before I get started, I am gonna mention that this device price is about 700, almost 8,000 rupees, I think it is. So let's actually do a quick conversion to see how much that is in actual dollars. And that is a sub $100 price tag. So for basically 100 bucks, a little bit lower, you get a full device with 120 gigabytes of storage and not 8, that's bullshit. We get 4 gigabytes of RAM. So let's just get into the box. We also have a 90 Hz refresh rate on this display. That's pretty nice. So there we go. Now in the box we get the phone itself. Just take that off. So here we get our SIM eject tool, we get some paperwork that no one cares about, we get a silicone case, clear one, a very puny looking charger. What is it, like 20 watts? No, it's 18 watts, which you can probably see right here in this tiny little text. Then we get a charging cable, type C to type A, which is pretty nice, especially for this price tag, and a headphone jack, or headphones with a normal headphone jack. So there we go. You get to the side and look at the device. So let's talk about the display, because that's what you're going to be looking at for the most of the time. And that is a 6.5-inch display running a 720 by 1612 pixel resolution, so it's a 720p resolution at 90 Hz with a peak brightness of 500 90 Hz with peak brightness of 500 nits. Additionally, we have about 83% screen to body ratio with a pixel density also of 269. Nice. So those are the display specs. Now moving on to the cameras at the back, we have a dual camera setup, though in reality we just have a one camera. I do want to kind of clarify this. The secondary, the lower one, is just a joke. It's not even something that I would classify as a camera. So the main one is a 13 megapixel wide sensor. Then below that we have a 0.08 megapixel auxiliary lens. What is an auxiliary lens? I have no clue really, but whatever it is at 0.08 megapixels, that is equivalent of a mouse sensor. So I probably would not be doing anything with that. Now at the front we have an 8 megapixel wide sensor as well. With both of those cameras at the front or back, meaning you can record videos at 1080p 30 frames. Now, moving on into the internals of this device, the device itself is being powered by a Unisec T606 processor. It comes with a 5000 mAh battery and additionally runs on Android 12, though it has its own skin, XOS 10.6. So you're not going to be getting any kind of like newest Androids here. And in addition, this device that I have right now has been released some time ago, so it's not necessarily brand new, but still it's sub 100 bucks. Anyway, moving on. Additional thing that we did have on the box even, the device comes with NFC, meaning that you can actually pay with this device in stores with the like contactless payment, I think it's called in English. So I just plop it in, NFC will trigger, and you can pay with your card through your phone, which is pretty nice, especially for a device at this price range. Now continuing on, when it comes down to also internals, we have at the base version 64 gigabytes of built-in storage with 4 gigabytes of RAM, and you can go up to 128 gigs of storage with 4 gigs or 128 with 8 gigs. Now, contrary to what you think, this is not 8 gigs as it states on the box, this is 4 gigs. So this is the very cheapest model, and you can also see that right here it says 4 plus 4 gigs of RAM. Now this is super misleading and super scammy, because they're calling storage RAM, which it's not. 4 plus 4 gigs of RAM, or gigs RAM, would imply that both of those are RAM. No, they're not. Only one of them is. And if you go into the settings, you have usually the choice to turn that off. I don't know if this device will come with this kind of option, but whatever it is, I wouldn't recommend using storage as RAM, just because it is just dog shit. Let's be honest, if storage could work like that, then people with actual computers would be able to just buy an SSD, like a terabyte of SSD, and say, I have a terabyte of RAM. But we don't do that, because storage is inferior to actual RAM. Let me just kind of explain this so people that are wondering what's the big deal here. RAM is a storage in a way, but it's designed to do stupidly fast basically read and write, but they're not there to be done permanently. Storage is done to be more long-term, RAM is short-term. It's there to just kind of get it, be done with it, put it on, and then come back to it in an instant. Storage does not do that. So calling storage RAM is misleading and very scummy, and in general, it, in my opinion, shouldn't be done. Just put more RAM. It's not like it's gonna cost them that much. 8 gigabytes of such a RAM that they put in here probably cost them a couple dollars, considering that's soldered onto the motherboard. So again, it's not a expensive thing that they could increase, especially at this kind of sizes. So increasing the RAM and just maybe bumping the price to actually like $100 would be significantly better than having that like $6 less or whatever it converts to, and doing this kind of scammy thing 4 plus 4. Like, no. Anyway, continuing on into the build quality, we have a plastic back with this kind of weird design right here. Then we got a plastic frame, fingerprint sensor on a power button, volume rockers above that. At the top we get absolutely nothing. On the side we have our SIM and SD tray, and just to kind of pop that out. There we go. You can see we have a dual SIM and SD card support, so that's pretty nice. And at the bottom we have our headphone jack, Type-C charging port, which at this price is pretty nice, although I believe companies aren't able to include a micro USB anymore because of the European Union's law against that. So I think that's what's happening here. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure they would have popped a micro USB just because it's cheaper and probably they have a massive stock of it. In any case, next to that, we have a speaker grill. And that's basically it. So that's the INFINIX Hot 30i. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.